Hey guys, today we're going to be working on some conversions with different measurements and stuff like that. So have a look over here. I've got the quantity, the name and the symbol of different types of units. So first of all, when we measure distance, we like to use meters. The first one is the meters one that we're going to be doing, which in symbols we just write M. Yeah, meters, M. Now another one when we do mass is in kilograms, isn't it? And we usually say kg. These are just examples of these. So I know there's quite a few more different types of names that reflect on quantities, different quantities, but these specific ones are just examples. So say for example for mass, we could use kilograms, grams, tons. It really depends on what we're measuring. But kilograms, remember it's kg, that's the symbol. Now time, again, very different measures that we can use for time, but an example would be second, so we use S. Now electric current, we use ampere, and we usually notify as a capital A. Another one is temperature, Kelvin, K, capital K. When we do intensity of light, we say candela. I know some of these units might be very new to you, very unfamiliar names, but that's fine. Just get yourself familiar with some of these so you don't get frightened when they come into the exam, and just know their relevant symbols as well. So when we measure the intensity of light, we use a measurement name called candela, which is CD. Okay, so CD is another type of unit. Now amount of a substance, like a chemical substance, we use a measurement called mole. This is often used in chemistry and it's called mole, and the symbol for it is just MOL. Okay, now let's look at different types of ones again. Let's go further into mass. There's something called ton. Now ton is a symbol for T. Okay, T is the symbol for ton. Now SI is the international unit of symbol that puts in like a very basic unit that we can use throughout internationally. So tons, we notify that as 1,000 kilograms. Okay, so just know that these two are the same, so you can convert to one or the other. Now capacity, we like to use liters when we're trying to do like water or liquid. The symbol is L, and the international symbol is 0.001 meter cubed. So if you like to compare liters to meter cubed, that's how you do the conversion. Now area, we like to use hectare when we measure like land and stuff like that. The symbol is HA, so make sure you don't get HE, it's HA, and that's the international symbol. Temperature, we like to use Celsius, degrees Celsius. You should be familiar with this one, degrees Celsius, and we like to use the symbol K minus this particular number for the international one. Distance at sea. There's a specific term for this one, it's called nautical mile, and we like to use NM, okay, NM, and that one is quite commonly coming out in school exams, so it will be a good idea to get yourself familiar with this one as well. It's 1.852 kilometers is equivalent to 1 nautical mile. Just trying to remember that one. Speed at sea is knot, so this one is kn. So distance at sea and speed at sea are two different types of ones that you might want to know, and this one is 1.852 kilometers per hour. Okay, now energy, kilowatt hour, kWh, and that's the international one, and we'll go on to the questions now. So question 1, convert 1,230 millimeters into meters. Now we know that, guys, there's 100 centimeters in a meter and 10 centimeters in 10 millimeters in 1 centimeter. So we can conclude that there's 1,000 millimeters in 1 meter. So what I'm going to do is 1 millimeter is 10 to the power of negative 3 meters, because in 1 meter there's 1,000 millimeters, so oppositely 1 millimeter would be 1 over 1,000, which is equivalent to 10 to the power of negative 3. So if I want 1,230 millimeters, just multiply that side by 1,230 as well, and that would get you 1.23 meters. Okay, that's all you need to do. Now question 2, convert 3.15 kilograms into grams. Now kilo means 1,000, so there's 1,000 grams in 1 kilogram. Now I can say that 1 kilogram is 1,000 grams, as I've just said. Now in 3.15 kilograms, just multiply this side by 3.15 as well. And that becomes something like this. So it's always very useful if you start off with the basic one, the main one, where we convert this unit to another, and then trying to build on from that one. Question 3. Convert 3 hours 20 minutes into seconds. Now we all know that in 1 minute there's 60 seconds and in 1 hour there's 60 minutes. Just remember that one. So we can say in 1 hour there's 3,600 seconds. I just did 60 times 60, yeah? So now 3 hours and 20 minutes, let's convert to minutes first of all. 1 minute is 60 seconds, as I've said. So in 3 hours and 20 minutes, remember, for the hours, I multiply by 3,600. So 3 hours, I multiply that by 3,600, and I add it to the 20 minutes, which I also should convert to seconds. Now, in 1 minute, there's 60 seconds. So in 20 minutes, we multiply 20 by 60, and that's all done into seconds, which is simplified to something like this. Make sense, guys? So you're trying to do the separate conversion for hours and minutes. Question 4. Convert 12 knots into kilometers per hour. Now remember, guys, in 1 knot, it's 1.852 kilometers per hour, isn't it? Remember our conversion? It would be very useful if you can memorize this one. So I can say that 1 kiloknot is just that. I just wrote that as it is. And therefore, if that's 1 knot, 12 knots would be just multiplying that by 12, isn't it? So you multiply the same number to both sides, and then just try to multiply that into your calculator. You should get something like this. That's the conversion. Okay, so question 5. A ship traveled 300 kilometers in 20 hours. Calculate the average speed of the ship in knots. So again, we're using knots, so I'm going to leave this conversion here. Now, I can say that 300 divided by 20 would give us how many knots it is. So how many lots of 20 hours it is, sorry. So basically 300 divided by 20 would give us 15 kilometers per hour, right? Because there's if I want to find how many 20 lots in 300, I can find the speed, can't I? Because I want to know, to find the speed, I want per 1 hour. So in 20 hours it's this much, in 1 hour we just simply divide it by 20 to get that. Now 15 kilometers per hour. Now let's convert it to knots now using the conversion. We know that in 1 knot, it's 1.852 kilometers per hour. So I simply need to divide it. So to calculate how many knots in 15 kilometers per hour, I divide 15 by this. Yeah, because to get the number of knots, we simply divide the speed by the respective speed over here. So I want to know how many lots of 1.852 in the 15. So that's just simply becomes something like this. So it's equivalent to 151, just keep it to 3 decimal place or whatever you like, because it doesn't specify in the question. And don't forget you put your units here, knots. Okay, so trying to memorize this one, guys, if you can. Get yourself familiar with all the different types of measurements I've introduced at the beginning.